Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This month is Social Work Month, and I want to share with you all my journey into social work and how it has shaped me into the person that I am today. From undergrad to grad to my work experiences. It's been a journey, y'all. It's definitely been a journey. So if you're interested in going to social work or just curious about the process, or you're just here to hear my story, grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's chat. Social work is such a broad and impactful field. However, the journey getting here isn't always straightforward. So I am here sharing my experiences from what led me here to my journey through school, as well as my experiences inside of social work settings, as well as outside of social work settings. So let's get into it. Believe it or not, I didn't always want to be a social worker. I grew up wanting to be a teacher. And even though I still love teaching, because in social work, you will wear many hats. And teaching or educating people is one of them. However, I realized throughout my journey, throughout my life, as I began to grow up and get wiser, have more experiences, I realized that I care about what's going on in the classroom, but I also care about where that child is, like mentally, what happened before they got to school, because ultimately a child cannot be themselves. They cannot give of themselves. They cannot retain information if they're going through things at home. So when it was time to go to college and apply for school, I had no doubt in my mind that I wanted to be a social worker. But let me tell you, if you are considering getting your BSW, which is Bachelor of Social Work, understand this, that you will learn so many different lessons. You will have so many different experiences and just learn so many things about the world. They'll just change your view on so many things. One of my biggest takeaways from undergrad, I'll never forget. One of my favorite professors, she was actually teaching intro to social work. And she stood in front of the class and said, if you are in the field of social work, to fix yourself, to somehow mend some brokenness where someone didn't help you. Because let's face it, a lot of us brokenness experiences has led us to social work. But she said right there in our face, get out. Because this is not your opportunity to fix yourself. You fix yourself before you get into things like this. But this is your opportunity to help someone else. And how can you help someone else? Your cup is not full. And yeah, I was stunned. Yeah, I could believe she said that, because I'm like, well, that's the reason I want to be a social worker. And aren't the best social workers are people who have gone through things? And yes, that is true. But the best social workers are also the same people who have gone through things, worked on themselves, gotten through those things, and become the full selves in order to show up for the person in need. Because let's be honest, you cannot show up for people if you are not your full self. So that's really what led me to getting therapy the first time. Even though it didn't work out, I was more aware of my situation and wanting to really do the work. Even though I didn't dive into my healing until like after undergrad, but it definitely stuck in my mind throughout school, throughout my life, that hey, look, you need to work on yourself. If you're trying to show up for people, if you're trying to help people, then you need to be at your full self. And that's what I strive to be every day, because every day I have to give to people, whether that's me showing up on my channel and sharing my experiences, whether that's showing up for work, assisting service members, whether that's showing up as a Christian woman. Sometimes you have to put others before yourself, and in order for me to do that, I have to feel like I am complete, I'm whole. Now, grad school, let's talk about it. Grad school whooped my tail. Yeah. Grad school was a different level. As a social work major, you think, oh, I have all these life experiences that you can just apply your life experiences. While you can, use those life experiences to make certain decisions, you still need those tools. You need to know different theories. You need to know different approaches to certain situations in order to help shape your decision, because you don't want your decision always to be emotional. Even though you have to show empathy to people in need, you still need to make a very sound and professional decision when it comes to helping people. But yeah, grad school, man. Disclaimer. And I share this with the youth that I work with sometimes. I share this with them that I actually flunked out of school my first year. I flunked out of grad school my first year for a variety of reasons. But ultimately, the main important reason was I was not focused. I wasn't focused at all. I think grad school was just another box I was ready to check off. And it showed because I did not show up as my full self. However, after I had to take some time to sit out for a year because I had no money to pay for school, and once you flunk out, they take your money, they take your financial aid, they take your loans. Like, you don't have access to those loans anymore because you're basically not performing at the level they set for you to perform. And so I had to sit out and work for a while. When I sit out the year, and I realized, you know what? For one, in order to make some money in the social work field, you need that master's degree, y'all. You need the master's degree. Don't get into social work and thinking, oh, I'm going to just get my bachelor's and deal. No, you need that master's degree to really excel in life, in your career, period. So when I did get back into school, I was a beast. What C? Barely made a B. But I got through it, y'all. I was more determined. I was more focused. And at that time, I was also more clear headed on what my purpose was. So grad school was tough, but I made it through. After graduation, stepping into the real world was a whole different experience. I've worked in the mental health setting. I've worked in advocacy. I've worked in case management. I've worked in geriatric. Currently, I work with service members, military service members and their families. And y'all, it can be a lot. It can definitely be a lot. One of the biggest lessons I learned as a social worker is self-care is so important. Self-care is so important. I talk about it so much that, like I said, if my cup is half full and I'm trying to pour into someone else, or it's not even half, it's just a little drop. Like, I cannot show up as my best self. If I'm going through my own relationship problems, I got my own things going on, I cannot show up as my best self. And granted, we're not perfect. Sometimes we're going to have things to occur through our life. And even as women, we had that time of the month, as they would say, and it kind of can affect our mood sometimes, and it kind of can affect how we perform. However, it matters to a degree how much I take care of myself in those moments when I realize that I need it the most. And even setting boundaries with yourself and realize, okay, right now I'm not in the best mood. Maybe I don't need to do such and such today. Maybe I need to do this instead, where I'm not interacting with clients as much. You just gotta know yourself. You gotta know who you are, and you gotta know how much you can give in certain moments, in certain settings. Social work is rewarding, but it can be heavy. There will be times when you feel like you are carrying the weight of the world on your shoulder. But there are also times when you are reminded of why you do this work. Whether that's someone coming up and telling you, thank you, I appreciate you, I appreciate how you stepped in and interceded and assisted me in this particular thing. Or when you just have somebody to have a breakthrough. Or when policy changes. Those are the moments that keep you going. Because social work skills are transferable, it doesn't always look like a 9 to 5. I'm starting to lean more into content creation, life coaching, writing, holistic ways of healing trauma such as yoga, and ultimately advocacy. At first, I struggled with the thought that, oh man, like I went to school for such and such years and I don't even feel like I'll be using my social work degree in what I really want to do in this world. But then I have to realize that those skills are useful. Nothing is wasted. I'm using those things I learned in those experiences that I had to be a better coach, to be a better advocate. I definitely believe that it has impacted how I show up as a Black woman in this profession. So to anyone who is thinking about pursuing social work or pursuing social work at this moment, I don't want you to feel stuck. I don't want you to feel stuck in those traditional roles. You can carve out a path that aligns with your purpose while still using those social work skills to impact lives. Looking back on my journey from before I even knew what a social worker was and to now, and I am so grateful. I'm grateful for the experiences. It hasn't been easy, but it has been meaningful. If you're considering social work, my advice is first, know your why. Know why you started. Having a strong purpose will keep you grounded. Secondly, be open to where the journey takes you. Social work is such a broad profession, and your path may look differently from what you expected. And lastly, take care of yourself. Burnout is real, and the best way to take care of others is to make sure you're okay first. So that's my journey from undergrad into now. I'd love to hear from you. Are you in social work? Are you thinking about it? Let's talk in the comments. And if this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I have so much more to share on this journey, and I want you to be a part of it.